Okay. Thank you, Wendy. Thanks for having me here today. And I thank you all for attending our, shall we say, kickoff meeting for the Greater Nashua Chamber trip to the south of France and Provence. Um, I'm sure some of you have traveled with Wendy before. Wendy's done a wonderful job in creating what I call international awareness programs, destinations across the world, um, a little different than home, interesting, vibrant locations, different cultures, different histories, all traveling with like-minded individuals. And yes, here's another one in 2025, this time to France. We're going to briefly go through, we've got about a half an hour presentation here today. It's a little bit shorter than normal just to a conflicting situation. But hopefully we can get through it and answer some questions at the said same time. This particular program, if you've traveled with me before, I always like to use whenever humanly possible, one location. Unpack your suitcase, take the creasery clothes and relax, like going on a cruise ship. I call it the cruise philosophy on land. I'd be doing you an injustice if we only went to one place, like Avignon or Cannes on this particular program. So we brought forth two of the gems of the region heading into Provence. If you didn't go and stay in Provence, you'd miss so much. So we've got 4 nights in Provence, 3 nights in Cannes, and then heading over into Italy after that into an extension for 2 nights into Milan. And we're heading out on March the 24th through till April's Fool's Day of April the 1st, 2025, and the extension on top of that. But what this program is going to bring you is spectacular French Mediterranean villages and small towns. It's going to bring you history spanning centuries, not just of France, but of Christianity, as Avignon was the center of and it's the only location where the Vatican or the head of the Catholic faith has had their seat outside Italy. So we'll learn a little bit about that. We've got, of course, great food, great drink. Fromage is my favorite, and a warm and inviting, friendly people, part of the European Union. I am sure that as soon as you arrive into France, you will be greeted and welcomed open-heartedly. The first night out of Boston, we'll fly from Boston into a European gateway and then onwards into Marseille. We arrive in Marseille. The emphasis is a landing in Marseille, but as soon as we're in Marseille, we'll be on our modern air-conditioned motor coaches for our transfer from Marseille up to Avignon, which is about, depending on traffic, just over 90 minutes, in between 90 minutes and 2 hours. Beautiful scenery along the way, and welcome to Avignon. It is a gem of the region. We'll be staying downtown inside the walled cities. And here we've got the famous Pont d'Avignon. The first night's a night to relax, take it easy, infiltrate into the French community, and our tours start. And there are quite a lot of tours included on this program. And the first included tour is Orange, Saint-Remy, de Provence, Les Aux, de Arles tour, and of course some wine tasting as well. Here we are in Orange at the 19th century theatre. You can see the beauty of the architecture. And here we've got the theatre built in the 1st century AD that's still used today. After that, we'll head into Château de Papes in the Rhone Valley. The Rhone Valley, some of the best wine in the world, where we'll be meeting with a local family, a family-run vineyard, and we will then learn a little bit about the wines, head into the cellars, and we'll also have the ability to sample a spot whilst there. After that, we'll continue on to Saint-Remy de Provence, an idyllic small village, narrow cobble streets, the river that goes through the center of town. This area was inspired, or you may have seen it in paintings from Vincent van Gogh. It's also home of Nostradamus too. And we're going to be backwards and forwards between Nostradamus and lots of famous artists throughout this particular program. And there we've got the famous Nostradamus Cathedral. Then we're heading on to Lesbos, which is quintessential Mediterranean medieval village perched precariously on cliff faces. They were purposely built this way so that they could be protected from invaders and marauders coming in. It's famous for its art galleries, its museums, Provence shops with the colors of reds and greens and yellows, which Provence is famous for. Then we'll arrive into Arles. Arles is famous for its Roman amphitheater. Again, those Romans got everywhere in and around here, built in approximately 90 AD. It could hold up to 20,000 spectators at its heyday. And again, another piece of engineering marvel that's still used today. We'll be back to the hotel after that and rest up, relax, take it easy. The next day, day 4, we'll find ourselves on our city tour, and we'll be heading into the Pope's Palace, which dates back to 1316, and 8 popes called Avignon home prior to moving over to Italy again. And it is a spectacular piece of works of art, of beautiful architecture. We'll be inside, we'll see the facades, we'll see the graves of various popes of the past, frescoes, ornamental ceilings and such. Then we'll head out to the Rhone River, and we'll see the Avignon, or the Pont d'Avignon. It is a partial bridge now, but it has become the symbol of Avignon. The river swelled during floods many, many years ago, took the rest of the bridge away, and we'll see, and we'll be having a walk on the bridge itself. In the afternoon, you've got time to wander, to take it easy, maybe to head into the old town or take an optional tour with only you in mind. And there's only 2 optional tours on this program. And here we are, we're into Gordes and Rossiglon. We're going into some of the beautiful hillside settlements, Second World War history. This Gordes was the center of the French resistance during Second World War. It's a place where the rich and famous have a second, third, or fourth home. Narrow cobble streets, spectacular views across the valleys, and it is just a beautiful place to sit back and relax and just say, my goodness, I am in Provence. After that, we'll head into Rossiglon, known for its multicolored red cliffs, its multicolored buildings of pinks, yellows, blues, oranges, and some of the stone has been quarried for centuries within here. And here we are downtown. We'll have a downtown, we'll have a guided tour of Rossiglon. Then we'll continue on to the Saint-Anne Abbey. This abbey is one of the leaders, one of the first entities that started to make perfume centuries upon centuries ago. And now it has been turned, they no longer make perfume here, but we head into the abbey. We'll learn of the perfume making. We may see the odd monk wandering around, but we'll be learning about the cultivation of lavender and having what we call one of our journey of discovery, something to take you a little bit off the beaten track that maybe other people might not get to see. And here we are in the lavender fields. There are still some lavender fields there. Before we know it, we will have spent 4 nights in Avignon, and we'll be heading south towards Cannes through Aix-en-Provence, a provincial capital, finally arriving into Cannes, where here we are in Cannes, and upon arrival in Cannes, we'll have our city tour. Cannes is known as the center of the Côte d'Azur, the south of France, those golden sandy beaches, emerald green waters, and the land of the rich and famous. Here we are in the casino, but also This is where the Cannes Film Festival is. Try your hand at winning the jackpot in the casino, buy your yacht the next day, and then take a wander down the promenade after that, money dropping out of your pockets on each side. Day 7, Cannes. We're still in Cannes. We'll head for our Nice city tour and St. Paul de Vence tour. Nice is known for its beautiful architecture, its Belle Epoque architecture. We're in the main square here. It's known for its lavender market and its flower market. And here we are, the Promenade d'Anglaise, one of the most famous promenades in the world. We'll have a mixture of walking tour and coach tour as we go through, and then continue on to St. Paul de Vence, where we will then view the medieval magic at its best. This is, again, another walled city. It's been walled for thousands upon thousands of years. Narrow cobble streets, small villages. It's a place where everybody knows everybody's business because all windows back onto each other. Now we have an optional tour today, or if you do sign up before the early bird deadline, which is October the 11th, not too far away, this is a free tour. We're going to Villefranche, Monte Carlo, Monaco, and Etsy. Here we are in Villefranche. Villefranche is a small, was once a fishing village. Now it's one of the popular haunts of the rich and famous. We'll wander its downtown. We'll wander down the main street. You never know who you're going to meet along the way. Time for a glass of wine as you sit in the harbor before continuing on to Monaco and Monte Carlo. Some of the highest real estate in the world you'll see today. Our coach also slowly will go around some of the areas of the Monte Carlo Grand Prix. Here's the famous hairpin corner that we'll go around. We'll arrive into Monte Carlo. We'll get off of our bus. We'll see the famous power cruisers of the rich and the famous. You'll see a Princess Palace. And here we are in the famous Monte Carlo Casino. You've already broke the bank in Cannes. Now you can break it in Monte Carlo and see the rich and famous and the valet parking on the front of the hotel itself. Carrying on, we'll head into the stunning Etsy village, perched overlooking Monaco, Monte Carlo, holds spectacular views down into the Mediterranean below. It's a great place to do a spot of last minute shoppings, and before you know it, we'll be on our last night here in Cannes, and day 9 will be upon us, and off we'll go back from Cannes, back from Nice, I apologize, to back to Boston with cherished memories of history spanning century. Adventure through travel, a land of culture and history while traveling with fellow friends, fellow family members, and fellow Greater Nashua travelers. What do we get for the price of this trip? We get a lot. We truly believe that. Round trip air transportation from Boston. You've got first class accommodations for 7 nights. You've got 10 meals, which includes daily breakfast, full breakfast, 3 dinners. You've got your sightseeing tours of a city tour of Avignon, Orange, Saint-Remy, Les Aux, Arles, Aux de Provence, a Nice city tour, Cannes city tour, including St. Paul de Vence. And if signed up before the early bird deadline disappears, you also get Monte Carlo and Monaco included free of charge, which is $159 if you pay afterwards. We got our journey of discovery, which is things that you wouldn't normally get to see on a program. We've got our visit to a winery. We'll be learning a little bit about olive oil and French cheeses. We've got a tour director upon arrival in Marseille until waving goodbye in Nice, deluxe air-conditioned motor coaches, baggage handling. All this for $36.99 per person, including the free Monte Carlo tour. Single supplement is limited availability. It's an additional $7.99. Your fuel surcharges and land taxes are included in that price. Now, this is a price as long as you reserve with a deposit by October the 11th, which is only 8 days away. After that, it goes up by $100. And if you want to go to Monte Carlo, it's $159. So signing up now, you would save $259. You have nothing really to lose, because all the way from reserving all the way up to 131 days before you go, you'll gain a full money back guarantee from us. All you'll do is send an email through to Wendy that you can't go, and we'll initiate the refund process. Okay, it's easily done. The only thing you can't get back is insurance. If you take out insurance is non-refundable. Now, while we're there, you might also say, oh, we want to get a little bit longer. I want to spend a bit more time. So we've got a 2-night extension into Milan, 2 breakfasts. We've got a city tour of Genoa and Milan. We've got our tour director and bus carrying on with us, and it's $7.99 a person. We'll leave Genoa, we'll leave Cannes, head down the coast to Genoa, and continue on to Milan. And here we are in Genoa. We'll have a walking tour of Genoa's old town. We'll learn about Christopher Columbus. We'll head into Christopher Columbus's home that he spent a lot of time fundraising for his expeditions, through the Ligurian Alps, and eventually arriving into Milan, where we'll stay 2 days, 2 nights. The next day, we've got our Milan city tour. We'll see the famous Duomo, which is almost off the charts with its architecture. We'll see the Victor Emmanuel shopping center, one of the most famous shopping centers and the most beautiful shopping center in the world, with its glass ceilings, its ornamental walls, and beautiful shops. We'll then see the Santa Maria delle Grazie Basilica, the La Scala, and we've got 2 nights. Before we know it, we'll be on our last night in Milan, drinking a cup of coffee, a slice of cake. Day 11 will be upon us, and we'll be flying back to Boston. Now, how do we sign up for the trip? You use the link on the front of the brochure, which is on the Chamber's website. You click that link, or click on the link in the Chamber website, and voila, you'll get through the booking engine. That's our presentation. Does anybody have any questions?
I do, yes. As somebody who's gluten-free,
Yep.
Is there an option for gluten-free food?
Yes, there is, and there's a section in the booking engine that asks for meal requests.
Oh, and I have a question.
Yes.
What would you rate it for activity level?
Yeah.
For 1 being the easiest, 5 being the most aggressive?
Well, we have 4, 1 to 4, and it's a 2. So
Okay.
if you look on the brochure, it does say what it is, but I may not be able to recite it verbatim, but it's a 2. So it means on and off of motor coaches, there will be some steps, there'll be some cobblestones, there'll be some walking tours where you might be expected to walk on and off, not 1 hour full, but there'll be some, stops. You might be asked to stand in one spot for 10-15 minutes while you look at something, in and out of museums. It's not a strenuous tour. If you think you can do that, that's yes.
Excellent, thank you.
You're welcome.
Question, how many people are going to be on the trip?
That's a great question. You never really know. We've got 1 bus. Buses hold 40 people, 40 to 45 people. I think there'll be somewhere around about 30 people on this trip.
Question again on the hotel rooms.
Yeah.
We've traveled to Europe and had an issue where my husband's very tall, and we've been put in top floor dormer type rooms. Any idea ahead of time if the rooms will have some decent height?
The hotels in Europe were built centuries ago. They're not purposely built like the Holiday Inn Expresses that they just bolt together and they're like shoe boxes. But the hotels we have are quality, first-class properties. I don't think you'll be a problem. We do have, shall we say, tall people on all our programs. put it in your notes section, and we'll see if there's a situation with that, and we'll plan accordingly. Any other questions?
One other.
Yes.
Is there a chance that we can book our own airfare?
You can book your own airfare. Yes, you can. There's a section in the booking, in the online booking section that says, I want to go from Boston, and please accommodate us from Boston. There's a section in there, I want to go from some other location. You might have an aunt or uncle in LA, for example. Drop me out of LA. And then there's a section in there that says, yes, I'm going to make my own way there, and there'll be a click that box section there, and there'll be an amount there that you will have taken off the price of the trip.
Great.
If you
So
want to do that, though, come in the night before, stay in Marseille, and come and catch our transfer the next morning, because it is a 90-minute to 2-hour transfer.
Okay.
So that price does include airfare?
It includes airfare, it includes hotels, it includes tours, most meals, yes.
So I have a question about the single supplement, because I
Yeah.
would be coming on my own.
Yeah.
Is there a way to figure out whoever else might be that may or may not be willing to potentially share a space? I don't know how the hotel rooms are designed over there with twin beds or not. Just any advice you could provide would be great.
If you know you're going, no matter, then sign up sooner than later. If you want, if I understand the question, if you want to look for a roommate, let Wendy know. And if a roommate is found and you are compatible, you can always switch into a double room. But we personally don't sort of look out for roommates. But I know
Okay.
Wendy's always talked to various people.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Will there be time
Sorry?
to gamble inside
Oh.
Monte Carlo?
Yes. Yeah, if you want, I can even send you a pack of cards. You can do it at night as well in the hotel. But yes, there will be on all guests. So yes, you can gamble in Cannes. You've got a couple of nights free. We do have some people that go to the Monte Carlo casino. So yes, again, you can do that.
Do you know what flights you're going to be on? Are those already booked?
We don't know. The pilots don't know where they're flying tomorrow, never mind next March. So we'll be letting you know that a little bit later on. But it
How
will
about
be somewhere
airline?
into Europe. It will be somewhere into Europe, and then from Europe into Marseille out of Nice. It's probably going to be Air France Delta, most probably. That seems to be the route that we use on this. Yeah. Well, if there's no more questions, again, I do apologize. There was a little bit of a scheduling, but if you've got any other questions, get hold of Wendy, and even if I need to give you a call, I'd be very happy to call you and answer any questions that you've got.
And I'm going to send everyone this recording that was on it. We had a
Great.
couple people just sign up for the open house just so I would send them the video, because 5:30 is not great for everybody. But it's just the time we kind of picked.
Yeah.
So this is a great trip though, Ian, and I really appreciate
Wonderful.
the chamber has traveled quite a bit with Ian. And so when I mentioned the Monte Carlo, I go, what do you think about that as a early bird? He goes, okay. I was like, really? I was super excited about that. So thank you for your generosity on that, because that's pretty exciting.
You're welcome. Have a great evening, everybody. And I'm going to disappear, but I think you might be talking a little bit longer, Wendy. But
Okay. All right. See you
Take care,
tomorrow.
everybody.
Another Zoom tomorrow.
Don't forget, October the 11th, the pricing. After that, the pricing goes up. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
Hi, Ian.